Welcome to Rich Skill Modelling. For my next build, I'm building this Airfix Sherman M4A2 tank, scale 1 to 76. So inside the box we have a bag with nothing in it, decal sheet, the kit, which looks nice and clean. Everything appears to be there. Nothing off the sprue. The normal rubber tram. The instructions, which will be like the other ones, quite normal to follow. So there's not a lot there. There's one variant with the two decal option by the looks of it. No, one decal option. There. So this is going in with my 176 series build for these small tanks. I've still got about 3 or 4 to build in this grouping before I start my diorama. On the box we have the markings here and the paint guide. So I'll go and prime this and we'll get on with the build. Once again, I'm starting with the wheels, so it's a light colour dirty black rubber shades UA734. I then moved on to 8 to 6 light olive by Umbro. Now this is going to be the main colour of the tank as well. The wheels get attached to the suspension springs. There's 3 sets in all on each side. And it's a simple case, and you put the wheels on and then there's a back cover that goes onto them. There are location points on these back covers for you to find the proper positioning for them, but they should just drop onto the axle of the wheel. Moving on to the tracks, and the base colour is 113 Rust. If you've been watching my videos for these 176, you'll know that I've been doing this for every single tank that I've done. To fit the wheels onto the sidewheel, there's 3 little location points for you to fit the wheels on. There's a 4th one which is for the smaller wheel. I would suggest putting it in after you put the big wheel in. The instructions say put it in before, but you may find it difficult to manoeuvre the larger part in. So it's easier just to put in the big wheel first before you put in the little ones. After a top coat of 53 gunmetal by Umbro, it's time to bond the tracks up. So first of all you have to cut them down the centre to separate them. Then take a piece of metal or something like that, heat it up, then apply it to the joint or the rubber tire and melt it into it. That should secure it. So now it's on to the actual painting of the hull. So the main colour, as I said, is Umbro's 8 to 6 light olive, and I'm just doing the underside here at the moment before I assemble everything on. Particularly the back part of the hull. It can be a little bit tricky if you put it in and then paint it, so it's better just to paint it now. So allowing the paint to dry, I'm just placing on the tracks, so they should just stretch over the wheel without any fuss. It's a little bit tight at the top of the wheel where the protective armour is, but pressing it in will be okay. You shouldn't damage it. Now to assemble the tracks onto the main hull. First of all, I'm putting in the back piece. Now the instructions say on this that attach the track to the lower hull first. I disagree with that. I found it easier after several minutes of dry fin that it would be better to build the tracks onto the actual upper hull. There's more contact points there for you to get the track in position, and it leaves it more stable before you put the bottom part of the hull on. If you attach them to the bottom part of the hull, there's a chance they'll bend out of position. So this way is really the best way to do it. but it is essential that you put the back section on first, because that has an L-shaped sort of mold to it that the track fits on top of. So that really has to go on first anyway. So once your tracks are on, all you have to do then is cement the area for the bottom part of the hull to go on. It may be wise to start at the end where it's curved before joining it to the back brace. It's just a little bit easier to line up then. Moving on to the gun mount on the turret, there's the little machine gun I would advise to fit first, just because it's such a small part. The gun itself has a little nubbit of plastic halfway down the stem for it to connect into the housing, which will click in and allow movement. Unfortunately, the barrel is a solid piece. You may want to replace that with a metal one if you have one handy. I didn't, and it's too thin to drill an actual barrel into it. So I'm having to live with having it as a solid piece of plastic. The hatch doors are fairly standard. You can have them opened or closed. They come in two halves, and they just fit on top of the turret there. I'm putting in an aerial. I forgot to do it on my other builds on the tank. I don't know why I forgot. I generally put them in, but I finally got around it to this time. So I drilled just a little tiny hole where the aerial would go, and I used a piece of copper wire just to place in to simulate the aerial. It's difficult to make out, but you can just about see it there. Next to go on is the front mounted gun. This doesn't have any movement, it's just simply slots into the recess point. And then the covers for the driver in front. Again, these can be left open if you wish. Next is to put the gun mount and gun inside the turret. Now the housing for the gun mount here can only go in a certain way. Just well, it can go in either way, but make sure you've got the angle adjusted properly on the actual gun. If you put it upside down, you'll find that it can't go level with the turret. So that's something I keep aware of. So it's time to paint it overall now with the 86 light olive. I'm using Umbro 110 natural wood, and this is for the handles of the spade and the axe that's moulded onto the actual tank. I'm then using gunmetal 53 by Umbro for the guns and the actual blades of the axe and spade. And lastly, we painted in 11 silver by Umbro is the aerial and the two headlights at the front of the tank. And now I'm going over the raised areas with Tamiya with the mast and seat and the gunmetal component. I'm going over the raised areas, and I think just to give a definition and to slightly wither. And once I'm happy with it, it's a coat of pledge clear polish. So it's now time to put on the decals. So you can see I fast forwarded through this. Decals are going on normal, softening them up. Then using my decal solution, Microsol, before placing the decals on. There's not that many to do at all. There is actually two variants that I didn't notice while I was doing the intro. I thought there was two, then it appeared to be there was only one. The other one's actually on the box, the back of the box, for you to do. So you can do the American version or the British version. This is the British version that I'm doing. Well, that's going to bring this build to an end. It's a short build. Such a lovely little kit to build. Anyone can build this kit. Doesn't matter what their experience is. If you haven't done so already, why don't you check out my channel, particularly for the 176 series that I'm doing, or of course or any other content that's on the channel. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll hear about any future updates and builds I'll be doing. Hit that like button, and of course you can leave a comment. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.